A lot of guys will bluff at a pot. Some will fire 2 shells. There's not many that'll fire 3. Well, James Carroll is firing 3 shells. Big time here. 2.9 million.
And I felt we go. The grinder with a little 5 deuce of hearts. He will call.
On the button.
Weinman with a 9-8 says, let's see those first 3. And the flop is a 10-6-3.
Well, 2 hearts for the grinders. Get the flush draw. Weinman with the gut shot, straight draw himself. He checks. 35,000 bet by the grinder here, and it's going to be called by Weinman. So we're going off to the turn.
Grinder looking for a heart, and he's going to get it. 6 of hearts.
The flush for the grinder. He's got to be loving it. Well, here comes Weinman betting 60,000. Well, the grinder just calls, doesn't raise here with the flush.
River card is an 8.
Well, this gives Weinman 2 8s. Now he's got check down value, and he does check.
How much you playing? About $1 million?
When you're playing heads up for the title, you know your number of chips, and therefore you should know his number of chips.
He's the grinder. He just likes to talk a little bit.
400.
But in the meantime, 400,000 is the bet into a pot that's got 260,000 in it. So an overbet by the grinder to make it look like he's bluffing.
Oh.
But look at this. Weinman's going all in over the top. Vince, if the grinder makes this call, he'll have 3.3 million in chips. Daniel Weinman will be down to 140,000. Well, the grinder is out of time buttons. So he's going to have to make a decision within 10 seconds or his hand's going to be folded. Wow, Vince, if he loses this tournament, he's going to look back at this hand and say, how did I fold that flush?
Daniel shows him the bluff.
Nice.
Dino with just a 9-7 will make the call. And here we go.
Check.
Dino checked in the dark, Vince.
Flop is a 7-6-5. So the ant getting a piece of that 7s with a straight draw.
575.
And Bailey's going to bet it with ace high and an inside straight draw.
Well, a number of players would raise with Anthony's hand here.
He is just called, though. Turn card on another 6.
Action on Anthony. He's going to check.
I'm all in.
Mark Bailey has gone all in with nothing. Ace high.
If Anthony Zeno can make this call, there's a good chance he could become champion right here, right now. Just has to dodge an ace or a 4.
Mark is a great guy. He is a recreational player. He's so happy to be here. I'm very happy for him. I have position on him, and I expect that he won't be much of a threat. But, you know, the cards dictate a lot in this game. I'll keep my eye open for the possibility that his chip stack could put a dent into mine.
He says he's a recreational player. I don't buy that he's going to be pushing pots around with nothing. And look at this, he's wrong, incorrect. Beautifully done by Buffalo Bailey.
Get that all in shit.
The World Poker Tour now has a real money online poker room, and it's called WPT Global. Play in cash games and tournaments for real money in over 50 countries on WPT Global. We'll even match your deposit up to $1,200. That's right, 100% deposit match up to $1,200. Sign up now with this QR code and use bonus code YT84 before it's too late.
Line's 100 and 200,000. Action going to the Brazilian. He has a 7-4 this time, and he calls it.
Well, he limps in on the button, and Faraz with a 4-3. Happy to see a flop here. Here comes that flop. The flop comes ace. 10-5.
Inside straight draw, and he's checked it. And Alex, with absolutely zip and pip, is going to bet 200,000.
He does have zip and pip.
Faraz calling quickly. Here comes the turn card. Well, it's a king of diamonds. Faraz has got a little flush draw there. And they both check. River card coming up.
Queen of clubs comes off, so possible flush out there, 4 cards straight out there. And look at this. Faraz leads out and bets 300,000 on the river. No, Vince, can you believe this? The guy raising on the river yet again with an absolute Garfunkel. Incredible. And again, Faraz goes out. Just unbelievable the plays this Brazilian is making.
No. That's cute.
Well, a great start for Dylan in this heads-up battle. How things change so quickly when you're playing heads-up poker in terms of chip count.
On this hand, James is going to raise with just a 6-3.
Well, he believes in position raising, that's for sure, if he's raising with this hand. Dylan just calls with the ace high, so we're going to have a flop here. The flop is queen 7-4. No help for either player. Does give James a gut shot straight draw.
Dylan's going to check it.
Now here comes the continuation bet, 600,000. Dylan just going to call him with the ace high here. Maybe he thinks ace high is good. In fact, it is. Well, 8 of spade comes off. Now this gives Dylan a 4 flush. He's going to check. And look at this. James going to fire another shell, Vince. He is not slowing down. He knows to win this hand, he's just got to bluff at it.
Dylan with a nut flush draw.
What is Dylan now? Stretching his neck. See how many chips his opponent has. This is something that's mind-boggling to me. You're playing heads up, you have to know how many chips are in play. Just count your own chips, you'll know how many chips your opponent has. Well, Dylan is going to make the call here for 1.4 million.
River card doesn't get the spade. 8 pairs the board. But believe it or not, Dylan's still in front with the ace high.
Well, he's checked. Now, Vince, a long time ago, Stu Unger told me a lot of guys will bluff at a pot. Some will fire 2 shells. There's not many that'll fire 3. Well, James Carroll is firing 3 shells. Big time here. 2.9 million.
Gotta have a lot of nerve to do that. Online specialist. 4 title making that kind of bet.
Vince, can you call 3 million with ace high? No. Give James Carroll credit, Vince. He earned that pot. Mormon looks down at ace 9. And he just limps in on the button with ace high. A little peculiar.
Glenn LaFay, though, with a king jack says, if you're limping, I'm going to raise. He's moved it up to 600,000 to go.
And Chris just calls. Does not raise with the ace high.
Unorthodox, and the flop is a king 8-5, so kings for Glenn.
Well, Glenn is loving this. He is flop top pair here. And he is going to bet 450,000.
Nothing hitting there for Chris, but
Wow.
he's
I
sticking
understand
around.
why you don't raise before the flop with the ace high, and now you just get stubborn and want to keep playing.
6 of hearts on the turn.
Well, again, 1 million. Now, Chris does have a gut shot straight draw. And the ace. Wow, he is making this call. So he is doing some...
Yup, going into deep investment here. Card of 4, not going to help Chris.
Well, Glenn checks the 2 kings. Chris Mormon, who's just had an ace high all along in this hand, apparently is now going to try to represent that he made a straight on the river here. 0.7 million is the bet.
Oh, gonna try to steal this against Glenn.
Well, all of a sudden your 2 kings shrink up. The guy called you on the flop, he called you on the turn.
King 7 of hearts makes sense. Doesn't do me any good. Did you take another stab at it after the last time I called it?
Glenn in a quandary right now. What to do? You got top pair,
Nice hand.
but the pressure's too much. He's gonna fold the hand.
The World Poker Tour now has a real money online poker room, and it's called WPT Global. Play in cash games and tournaments for real money in over 50 countries on WPT Global. We'll even match your deposit up to $1,200. That's right, 100% deposit match up to $1,200. Sign up now with this QR code and use bonus code YT84 before it's too late.
Tell that to John. But a quick fold by Alex, and now Phil Lock. The Unabomber's picked up a real hand, pair of 10s.
240.
And there you go, 240 to go.
Yeah, Phil not going anywhere this time. You always like to see a flop with a small pair, hoping to flop a set.
Dan out, and now John Gordon. Look at this. John has picked up a monster pair of kings.
750.
Incredible timing. And he's going to re-raise. JC going to pick up a nothing hand. And he obviously will release that. Now it's back on Phil.
Either I'm out Jediing myself or you've out Jedi'd me. There's a lot of Jedi energy happening or none at all. I can't figure it out.
Yeah, it could be a squeeze play, Vince. I can't see him throwing 2 10s away here.
No, definitely not.
With the short stack, I'd be surprised if he did.
Maybe I should just fold. You know, I don't know. Okay, I'm all in. I don't know.
He's going to push. Ryan out.
Uh-huh. That's what he said. I called. You have aces? I called you.
And look at this. He's saying, I called you. Show me first.
They both have to turn their hands up when they're all in, so it doesn't really matter who turns up first here.
Folded. This has happened to me before. The 10s is a tough one.
What a bad place for the Unabomber. Wow.
Maybe I shouldn't have pulled out the goggles. Maybe I should have left the goggles at home, huh?
The Unabomber about to bomb out in 6th place unless he gets very lucky here. He may be able to pick those goggles up in the local trash can right outside the door.
Oh boy, he needs to get lucky. The very entertaining Phil Lock in big trouble right now with 5 cards to come. Here we go with the first 3. Will Phil get lucky? Not there. 9, 6, 5, 2 diamonds.
Now Phil has a diamond, but John has a bigger diamond.
I almost folded. I can't believe it. You got him. I mean, there's 2 more cards, but I'm here. I'm prepared to lose. Nice meeting you. Yeah. Either way.
John loves his position right now. Here comes the turn.
We're looking for win 10-10, a 7. Well, the crowd moans. Phil knows he can win this pot with an 8 or a 10. Must have one of those 2 cards.
Jennifer Tilly begging for a 10 or an 8.
I'm okay without it getting there. I would love it, but I'm okay either way. I know.
It's an 8!
Wow! Unbelievable! Phil Lock gets lucky to make a straight on the river. Joe openly admits he's a cheesehead. Big fan of the Packers. And of course his alma mater, the Wisconsin Badgers.
Well, he is raised with just a 9-8, Jerry out, but Maurice gonna fold, and now Jim Gilbert with a Jack 10 of diamonds appears interested.
And he's gonna make the call.
David going out, so 2-way action between these 2 guys, the 2 chip leaders.
Nice flop there for Jim. He's flop top pair, but he's gonna check. Joe's got the open end straight draw, and he also checks. Now the deuce of hearts comes off. Again, action on Jim. Just can't imagine you're gonna check top pair again.
Bets 350 into the man with the open-ended.
And a call with the open end straight by Joe Keither.
Hoping to strike gold. Let's see if Keither can get lucky. River card coming up.
Well, a 6 comes off.
Did
This
it.
gives Keither the best hand possible. The 10 high straight. Vince, it just doesn't look like that intimidating of a card. So if you have top pair, you're going to bet again. That's what Jim is doing. 675,000, but he's about to get the bad news because Joe's definitely going to raise it.
Well, he only has the nuts.
Yeah, but if you were sitting in Jim's seat, you're thinking the guy would have bet an opening straight draw on the flop if he had it. He didn't.
Here comes the hammer, close to 1.8.
It's another 1.1 million to Jim. Let's see if he can read this right. He's now thinking, you got to be kidding me. The guy made a straight. He's slow playing me all along. I don't know, but I'm getting out of here. He makes a good fold. Joe Keither taking down the pot.
When do we get
They'll give
change
you a
for the
change.
waitress?
You just give her whatever you have.
You gave her 100?
Well, it's $1 for the water, so I gave.
100 and said keep the change?
No.
Oh, you have cash.
Yeah, I have some cash with
We
me.
need little things like quarters.
My favorite part about having Jen Tilly and Dan Shack on the table is when she asked him, did you give the waitress 100 and just tell her to keep it? I thought he might have done that too.
Bryn Kenny with the queens making the raise to 700. Olivier with the eights.
I think that Olivier will just call, but I'm not sure. Yep, there we go.
Harper Pozzi and the local goes out. Everybody folding. So two-way action. Queens up against eights. The flop is a 6-4-4.
Well, that's the flop that Olivier was looking for. It just turns out it's bad for him because Bryn has an overpair. So Olivier is going to get stuck here and have to pay off at least one, maybe multiple bets.
Lost $1,000 to the turn. A 7.
And that is not a good-looking card for Bryn. Did not really want to see a spade. Didn't want to see something that would potentially give his opponent a better hand than his queens. Also knows that it's going to be harder to get value with his overpair now on that board.
Well, they go check, check, and an 8 on the river. 8's full here for Olivier.
And Bryn really has a bluff catcher here. I know queens and 4s looks like a pretty strong hand, but on this board with 3 to a flush, potential trips, 4 to a straight, there's a lot of better hands that Olivier can have, so I think that Bryn has played this hand very well, but will probably lose another 2,500.
Plus.
Olivier shows that beautiful hand and will take it down.
Yeah, good hand from both players, but Olivier, with the 2-outer on the river, gets to collect that pot. He's going to let go a 9-3 suited. Back to Dino with the 5-4 clubs. He wants to play for 4,000. Darren Elias is king-queen suited in the small blind. He will call. And Tom out in the big blind, so heads up. Interesting flop. Queen 10-5, the bottom pair, and a backdoor flush draw for Dino. Well behind the top pair of Darren Elias.
Dino's going to continue. 7,000 into Elias. Top pair, big kicker. He just okie dokie calls. Going to the turn. And a 9 on the turn.
That will complete King Jack. And add a flush draw that Dino has, so he's going to double barrel here. I don't think he's going to get Darren to fold on that card. But man, I can appreciate Dino's aggression.
And I bet 17. Darren still with the top pair. Big king kicker. Makes this call going to the river. And Dino has to hit here. Let's take a look. Will it be a club? No, it's a 4. It's even better.
Best one of all to draw out on Darren. No way that Darren can put him on bottom 2 pair. Dino's played this hand great. I'd like to see him put Darren all in on this river as Darren has well under pot remaining, but still, I think this 20,000 bet is going to get a call from Darren Elias.
And he's going to make this call. He's just, oh my. Oh, that's it. That says it all.
Darren thinking, well, you know, what can I do? I had the best hand all the way to the river. He caught a very disguised card, and I got a good price to make the call.
A former pipe fitter, Dino from California, and his whale.